Okay, this is the Real Guardian, and I'm going to redo the quick announcements I have here. Apologies on the bell. What if I literally made the simplest thumbnail I could make, but apparently, even though I made it simplistic, it did not work out. Next would be that, as I stated before in the other video, Patreon. I've already posted the schedule there, even though there might be a change on one of the new what ifs. I might have to push that one back and put in the bell one. Other than that, that's going to stay the same. How the channel's going to operate stays the same. And as I said in that video, if I actually start getting Patreons on Patreon, a decent amount, not too many, I might start doing Patreon only stuff like polls where you guys can pick what the first new what if is on the next schedule, and some what ifs I'll only do on Patreon. Okay. And finally, if you want to recommend a what if, just recommend it to me. Because one of the what ifs I'm planning to release soon is a recommended what if to me that I actually quite like. Okay, now let's get this started. This is What If Naruto Had His Own Unique Clan and Dojutsu Part 4. Okay, now we open to Naruto as he's laying down on a hospital bed. He's still in his near death state. As to him, he seems to be falling through darkness. As he then shuts his eyes, only to open them to see he's on a moon. He realizes this has to be a mindscape, like he has with Kurama. But why? This is not his mind. He knows it has to be someone else. But why did they choose the moon? Was it something they liked? Naruto thought. He then started to walk around as he tried to explore the moon, but was getting nowhere because he was basically stuck. He then saw a cave nearby and decided to walk to it as it led him. And once he had entered, he was inside a small room in the cave. There was a bed, torches for lighting up a room, and when Naruto finished looking around a bit, he then saw a woman. But not any kind of woman, he thought. He saw what was to him a goddess. She had flowing white hair, pale skin, horns, and she was wearing a white kimono with a little bit of gold and purple on it. He slowly walked up to the woman as she seemed not to notice him. He then, for some reason, felt to sit next to her. So he did just that. He did just that. Then turning his head to see her eyes. She had the Byakugan, he thought. Then she was a Hyuga? No, doesn't seem right to him. He then saw a red eye on her forehead. It looked like the Sharingan, but it was not the same. Then he just decided to sit there and relax. After all, he was still weak from what had happened today. So he started to look to where she was staring at, as he got to see the whole world, and it was just a beautiful sight. So he took a deep breath in and out, and the woman reached down and lightly patted his head, which was very nice after all this time and day he had. She turned to him, saying, "Welcome to my mind. It's kind of strange how you got here, young one. But I'll be honest, this is a nice surprise. After all, I wouldn't have expected you to be nearly dying for us to meet. But that forbidden power of yours from that clan caused it, really. That clan was always too stupid for their own good at times." Taking a moment to think, she then spoke again. "But I digress. It's nice to finally meet you, Naruto. After all, you are the last of your kind left on this world." Then Naruto said, "Okay, may I know your name then, since you seem to know mine already?" She then responded with, "My name is Kaguya Utsuki, and I'd like to make you an offer, Naruto." Then he twitched his head up, asking what kind of offer. She then smiled, saying, "I can give you a very unique gift. Now, I will not tell you what it is, but one day it will help you through a very difficult battle. And I promise I will explain more once you've unlocked it. But there is a condition to this offer if you accept it." Naruto then thinking it over, and then asking, "So what is the condition?" Kaguya then said, "I want you to come to see me and talk to me from time to time. Even if I'm not training you, I would like the company. Is that okay?" Naruto then said, "Sure, I would have done it even if you had not asked me to. He gave her a happy smile. She then patted his head, saying, okay. Then she just placed her hand over Naruto's chest, pumping chakra, returning what he had lost at that point. But as if this was happening, he felt something go inside of him, and a very sharp pain had happened in his chest, but then it quickly disappeared. She then said, it seems you are waking up now. Now waking up now. Don't forget your promise to me. And when you want to come and see me, just think of me, and you'll be here, okay? That Naruto nodded, saying, don't worry, I will not forget you or our promise. A ninja always keeps his word. As then Naruto disappears, with Kaguya then saying, so, why? Then saying, sorry, my apologies, so, what do you want, my son? Now Naruto is waking up, realizing he's in a hospital bed with Shizune and Tsunade sitting at the foot of his bed. He decides just to go back to sleep since it seems Kurama was panically calling out to him. So he started to lay his head back and went back to sleep, awaking in his own mindscape to see the cage with Kurama. She then used her chakra and bear hugged him, somehow pulling him into the cage. Then, while Naruto was being squeezed to death, he finally got out. How did he get into the cage with Kurama? Then finally Kurama, letting him breathe, then saying, why did I actually hold you? So you could say my love found a way to do that. But Naruto, can you please explain something to me? Why is this weird chakra and that orb forming in your body? She then pointed out to the cage an area where this orb that was surrounded by chakra was floating. It made Naruto realize that this must be Kaguya's gift. She then said, it's a gift, Kurama. I don't know what it is yet, though. She then thought about it for a moment, saying, yeah, I can tell it was probably a gift. But what's crazy about it, it seems to be slowly growing in power as it's cultivating in you, Naruto. But, honestly, that can wait. Because I'm going to kill you until you have to wake up because it is punishment for making me worry so much, Naruto. And Naruto just sucked it up, saying, okay, Kurama. Now, he's reawakened to see Amy, the ramen girl, was standing near his bed reading a book. As he finished opening his eyes, saying, Amy, why are you here? Just then she starts to cry and hugs him, saying, of course I'm here. I heard you almost got killed. Why would I not be worried? I care about you, Naruto. Just then, Naruto thought it was nice to have someone else that cared about him. As he hugged Amy back, as they let go of each other, he then wiped some of Amy's tears, saying that he was sorry to worry her. She then said, you better be, as she smiles out. She then said, okay, apologies. Said, wait here. I'll get Lady Tsunade and Shizune. As she walked out of the room, Naruto then said, you know, I can sense you, by the way. Trained myself so I could sense the Anbu, so it's not going to work hiding in the ceiling. I only guess it's your job to make sure I'm safe, right? Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja, as he recognized the signature. And in an instant, Kakashi dropped down, saying, well, I'm very impressed by that, Naruto. I know only one person in the whole village that was your age once that could have sensed me and done that. As she then gives a smile to her match, she then walks up to the bed, asking, so do you remember what happened? Naruto then said, with a sigh, yes, I remember, but I don't know how I got my arm back. Kashi then said it's the Gasai dojutsu. You can do a lot of amazing things like that, you know. But, do you know the name of it? Naruto shaking his head no. Kasashi then said it's known by many names, to be honest. The Eye of Sacrifice, the Eye of the Void, the Eye of Silverlight, the Eye of the Silver Demons. I really love this one the most, the Eye of Existence, since it was said to bend the very laws of existence in this world. It's also considered the most powerful dojutsu in the world, since by that definition, and in theory, it could end all of existence. It's just that eye, as she pointed to his right eye. Plus, it also only appears in the right eye, for it is said the Gasai were the right hand of God. Now, I know a bit more than its power, but it can wait, since you still need a rest. I'll be by your house in a week to teach you about. It seems Lady Tsunade is almost here, so I'll see you soon. Before she could leave, Naruto said, "You will be at my house 10 sharp, or I will sacrifice you to this eye. Am I clear? No tardiness. I want answers on that day." As then he activates the dojutsu with him staring at Kakashi. She then gulps because she knew that kid was serious, and she knows someone at her level could normally wipe the floor with him, but all it took was one hit, and she would be gone. She then said, "Okay, Naruto, I'll hold you to that." She then poofed away. And Tsunade then kicked the door down, running up and hugging Naruto, as Tsunade was quickly darting in now. Now both of them were happy Naruto was okay and crying a bit. But Suzune was more mad at Tsunade for what she just did. Tsunade then punched Naruto in the head, saying, "Never make me worry like that ever again." As he rubbed his head, saying clearly out loud, "Mom, I'm sorry. But when I thought I was going to lose Suzune, I lost it, to be honest. I don't know what I'd do if that had happened." Suzune then spoke up with some tears in her eyes, saying, "It's okay. I don't want to lose you either, so I understand." Tsunade just sighing. "Okay. I'll get you checked out here in a few minutes, and I'll be teaching medical ninjutsu from now on after you get up first thing in the morning. So be prepared for that, Naruto." He nods his head as Amy came back with some ramen, saying, "Oh, I got this from Dad. It's for you, Naruto." She handed it to him, and he downed it like a vacuum, then saying to Amy, "Thank you so much. This is the best meal to wake up to. I think I need to marry you one day, Amy." It's causing Amy to blush and freak out a lot. Then saying, "Naruto, you should not say that unless you mean it." Naruto saying, "Really? I think any guy would be lucky if he married you. After all, you're cute, kind, and a very good person." This just completely broke Amy. It's not he's saying in her head, "Really? Like, he takes too much from you." And she just sighs, thinking, "I'm never going to get rid of that habit." Now, a week is about a week has passed. During this time, Naruto in the morning was learning from Tsunade about medical ninjutsu. Then when they got close to lunch, he could take a break, and he started to start learning cooking from Suzune. Since, as he put, there need to be at least 2 cooks in this family. Suzune also giggled at that. In the afternoon, he'd go into his mind scan and train with Kurama. Now he's mastered how to use the elemental changing natures, and he's learned some basic jutsus from Kurama. It's true to the day that Kakashi showed up. Now she showed up exactly at 10, as Naruto was already standing outside, saying, "Well, you're here, and sorry, but I cannot stand you being late. I know it's your thing, and I just wanted you to be on time for once. I apologize for that. But let's go to the training ground. I do want to learn more about my clan." With that, Kakashi just nodded. As they walked into the training ground, they got there, Naruto took a deep breath and made some hand sign, saying return as the scroll popped into his hand. He then bent his thumb and unsealed it to reveal it had snacks and drinks in it. He then handed Kakashi some of the snacks and a drink, then saying, "Okay, you can start." With Kakashi actually giving Naruto a funny look while holding it. Naruto then saying, "It's for you. After all, I don't want to waste your time by coming to me. And if you're giving me information, it shouldn't be for free. This is the least I could do." With that, Kakashi nodded and said, "Okay. So first, I was supposed to give you this scroll. It has your clan's unique chakra seal and blood seal on it. Your mom said this is a present for when you unlock the dojutsu." And she tosses it to Naruto, then saying, "Plus, I'm curious what's inside of it. I think that would happen to anyone when you've been holding on to something for more than 4+ years." With that, Naruto placed his blood on the seal as it started to drain his chakra as well. Even though it made him feel a little exhausted, the scroll finally unraveled itself, revealing two things within it, both having notes stuck to them, with something that looked wrapped up like a jar. On this note, it said, "To my son, a gift to one day save you." Naruto unwrapped it to see an eye, a single silver eye within it, with Kakashi freaking out saying, "That's the guy with the original head. It said it was lost ages ago." Naruto's saying, "Okay, well, you can explain it," after he picks up the other item that was wrapped up with a note reading, "This was my sword." As he unraveled it to reveal a purple-headed fox sword, with Kurama then piping in saying, "Oh yeah, I forgot, she had the lightning sword from the Fox series. It's going to need a new name since you're the new master. And and this one will actually do it when you draw it, so leave it alone for now." As he puts the sword on his back. After that, Kakashi just took a breath in, saying, "Okay, I get giving you her old sword, but why did she have that?" Naruto finally asking, "Guess it has something to do with my clan's dojutsu." Kakashi just nodded to that, then said, "This is all I know about your clan I can tell you right now. And the dojutsu is that you can use chakra or stamina to use its effect. And unlike other dojutsus, it will activate when your life is in mortal jeopardy to protect you. That's really what happened to you last week. Finally, the price is very high. You will pay with your life if you're not careful when using it or being using it too much. I think I already know that now. Right. I already know that now. Now, with that eye," and she pointed to the jar, "it's said to be the only perfect eye in the whole Kasai clan. I don't know more than that. I was hoping what was in there was more clan secrets and techniques, maybe even more stuff to explain some of the dojutsu that I don't know. To be honest with you, Naruto." And then Naruto thought about it, and then he said out loud, "It's okay. She probably left it in another way to me. But I have to ask Kakashi, could you start training me when you're not on missions or busy?" This actually causing Kakashi to smile. She then said, "I can't. I did promise your mother that anyway. Plus, I can teach you how to control that dojutsu power. After all, I have a similar ability." That Naruto nodded his head. Kakashi then said, "Be about 3 days, I think, before I can train you. So I want you to be ready by then. And I'm not being punctual this time." With that, Naruto nodded his head. As they walked back into town, after that they parted ways. Naruto started walking. He was holding his new sword, and he did have his eye stored back into the clan scroll. He asked Kakashi to send it to his home on the way, which she's okay with since she knew it'd be the safest place to be there for right now. As he was walking into town, he did notice a young Chunin girl eating some dumplings while waiting for what seemed to be her big sister. As Naruto recognized that person in the chakra being the one that Ambu that watched him from time to time. He then senses a extremely hostile energy and intense anger and emotions, wondering why he was sensing it. So then he started looking around, and then he saw a ninja on a nearby building, with Naruto saying in his head, "Wait, how has no one noticed or reacted to it? It's very powerful and obvious." With Kurama saying it's because of her and the dojutsu you've recently awakened, Naruto. See, Lily said one of the abilities of the Gasai dojutsu is that it enhances your sensory abilities to the point where you can sense someone's raw emotion just by being near them. But Lily said, like any ability, you'll need to train it. Unless you have me, which will help. But you need to step in now. So I have to ask, have you thought of a name yet? That Naruto smirked as he began drawing the sword. It's in that ninja on the roof through a paper bomb kunai. As he jumped in front of it, as he drew the blade, saying out loud, "Run wild, Stormbringer!" The blade then glue with purple and red chakras. Naruto's left eye turned to a red slit like it did last time, as he slashes the bomb upward, causing it to explode in the air. This shocked the young girl and caused her to fall down from where she was sitting. As her big sister realized what had happened, she quickly went and captured the ninja. Then other Ichigas from the police force came in to help. The young girl decided to walk up to Naruto, as he had just resheathed the blade and calmed himself down and returned to normal. She then said to him with a blush, "Thank you." Naruto saying, "Oh, it's no problem." As he looked at her, she had long black hair and black eyes, and it was normal girl's clothes to him. Plus, she was actually his age, and he was really thinking she was pretty cute. And then, with her stuttering a bit, saying, "My name is Sasuke." Naruto responding, "My name is Naruto Gasai." She then said, "Wait, is Naruto, is in that Naruto? That is Lady Tsunade's and Master Jiraiya's godchild?" That Naruto nodded his head. She then smiled, saying, "That was so cool," with him saying, "Yeah, I guess it is." So Naruto looks to see the big sister has walked up to them, and saying, "Thank you for that. I did not know that man was nearby. My name is Itachi." Naruto saying, "Well, it's finally nice to know your name." As he smiles, Itachi then realizes that Naruto must have actually noticed the Anbu, including her, watching him. And it actually really impressed her. She asks, "So, I'd like to thank you. I'll speak to Lady Tsunade about you coming to eat with us tomorrow for dinner." Naruto did thought about it. That said, "Sure, I'd like that, since I like to be friends with Sasuke, though, if that's okay." Sasuke then saying, "I'd love that," as she blushed a bit. Now Naruto smiled and said, "It's great to have a new friend, and honestly, I'd like to get to know you more, but I should be getting home. So see you around." Itachi and Sasuke So see you around, Itachi and Sasuke. As Naruto ran off, Itachi, looking down to see her sister, was really having one heck of a big crush on Naruto. She then smiled, thinking, "Depending how that young man grew up, I might want him too." She then just chuckles to herself. Now we cut to Sasuke and Itachi as they walk into their home, saying, "Hey, Mom, we're home." They're turning around with her going to the front of the entrance and saying, "Oh, it's you too. How was your day?" Sasuke then said it was well and eventful. They didn't explain what had happened, and Mikato, Sasuke and Itachi's mom, got so mad. She then said, "If I ever see that ninja myself, I'm going to tear him into pieces." Then she calmed herself by thinking, and then saying, "You said Lily's boy helped you guys out?" Itachi said, "Yes." They're saying, "I really miss Lily a lot. And it's good to know her son is healthy. But I hope he didn't take too much after her. Because if he got her temper, oh boy, people better learn not to mess with him." She then giggled a bit about this. "So, he's coming over tomorrow, right? If he got permission, correct?" Tachi nodded. "I went by the hospital and they said it was okay with her already." Just then, Fukaku, their dad, walked in to the house. Mikato said, "Oh, hello, dear. It seems we'll be having an important guest tomorrow." Fukaku then asked, "So who is it?" She then said, "It's Lily's boy. Remember him?" Fukaku then saying, "Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'll be finally seeing him in the flesh again tomorrow, huh?" He then sighed as he realized something. He then left the room quickly and went into a room and had some pictures hanging on it. And he took one from the wall down. He then said, "Honestly, I think I should give him this. No, I should give him this." As now we cut to Naruto after he ate dinner. He was in the bath. He was laying and relaxing in bath. He then thought of Kaguya and returned to the moon. As he walked in the cave to meet with Kaguya, as he was staring at the world again, he walked up and sat next to her. He then said, saying to her that he's sorry for taking so long. He honestly had to rest. He was learning stuff for his family, and his week was pretty busy. She then spoke up, saying it was all right. "You did keep your promise, though, already, so that's good. Honestly, I have been watching you ever since we met. I have to ask, So what's up with those swords of yours? They then decide to have a long discussion about Naruto's week and about the swords and other things in between. Then Kaguya decided this, then said, "Let me show you something." She pulls out a scroll, then hands it to Naruto. He then asks, "So what is the scroll?" Kaguya then said, "This is a summon contract for the elemental chakra gods. All you have to do is sign it with your chakra. Sign it with your name and chakra, sorry." This caused Naruto to freak out, saying, "What? Elemental gods? They're real? And why are you giving this to me?" Kaguya then said, "I wish to start training you as well. And this is something I know you'll need one day. So that's why, Naruto." He then just wrote his name and chakra. Kaguya said, "Okay. It's honestly time for you to go back. You don't want to stay in the bath any longer and get wrinkled now, do you?" With her chuckling a bit. She then said, "But next time we're going to have a longer talk and with me training you to use that summoning contract. Okay?" Naruto nodded his head as he faded away. Kaguya then said to herself, Why? When I am with that boy, my hatred is gone. It's as it never existed in the first place." She sighed, then saying, "So, my son, this first test for that boy, that's quite the big one." The man in the shadow smiles. Naruto gets up to see it's morning. Well, very early morning for him. So he goes to the bathroom. Sorry. And as he's leaving it, he sees Shizune asleep on the table. He goes and grabs a blanket from the nearby couch and covers her with it. But as he does this, he notices the papers on the floor. He picks them up. But as he's laying down, he glanced at them. And he read two in particular. One was talking about root members and how they were targeting Naruto and other village stuff. And the other one was talking about the Kasai family vault. It was in a place called Whirlpool, but since it required my blood and chakra to open it, they didn't know what was inside. It was heavily guarded with powerful traps, and there's this woman guarding the front of the entrance to the vault. They only found out about this being the vault since they could use their own clan blood as proof to this person so they could get the information. Finally, it was signed with three names on it: Carolyn, Nagato, Kashin, Kasuna. Naruto's original one. I'm sorry, I'm starting a lot all of a sudden. Naruto was wondering who they were, but thought it was not best to pry about it right now. And just live his life. And have fun while it's at. He then kisses Shizune's forehead and he then leaves a note. Later, Shizune wakes up, realizing it's time for her to cook breakfast, to see a blanket had got put on her. She stood up a bit, not knowing why it was there. Yeah, sorry. She then seen a note on the table. As she read it, it's saying, "Hey there, big sis, I'm cooking breakfast, so take a break, you need it." She smiles as she looks in the kitchen to see Naruto cooking. It made her really happy. We cut into early afternoon, as Naruto was planning to have a small walk with Tsunade like they used to when she was around way more often. Naruto was getting on his shoes as Tsunade was getting ready. Now, we go to them as they're walking. They start talking about things. Naruto asks, "So, I know I shouldn't be asking this, but I'm curious a bit. Are those papers I've been seeing the past week because it's something involving me and something to do with the village?" This is saying, yes, there is stuff that involves you. It's just things we're trying to figure out. Since your mother and Kakashi are the only ones that have any information on the Kasai, and your mother really hid most of the information, Kakashi only knows very little. And the other stuff involved a certain group and the whole village, and the village stuff involved the medical sides of things, since I can help with that. And I was asked since the third was overloaded with work this week. But I'll be honest with you, the only reason I really took it was to help you, Naruto. You're so powerful, smart, and you have so many good, influential, and strong people around you that sometimes I feel useless to you, Naruto. Naruto then quickly grabbed Tsunade's hand, telling her, "You're not useless. First of all, you've been teaching me how to cook. You take care of me with both mom and dad cannot do it. To be honest with you, I'm lonely without you being here. And I really hated it when you went on missions because it felt like one of the most important people in life and someone I truly deeply love was out there, either fighting or helping people. But there also was a possibility you might not come back at all. It made me feel like I lost something already in my life. So I'll say this again, just to reiterate everything to you. You are not useless. You're worth more to me than the leaf. Okay? Now he gave her a smile. She started to cry and she hugged Naruto, thanking him for those words. As Kurama was saying to herself, "See, Naruto, you got her heart now. I'll make her see you as a man one day, and I think you're going to. And you're in. Plus, I think you're going to be one hell of a womanizer in the future, even though you already are one." And she smiles. Now we cut closer to later in the afternoon, just before night. Now Naruto had been training with Kurama in the mindscape as he was tired and dropped his lightning sword. As it hit the ground, he was then looking, wondering, sorry, as wondering what Kagi had given him as he decided to lay down on the ground for a bit. But as he did this, darkness surrounded him. His figure in a black cloak walked up to Naruto. Now he tried to move, but it was useless. He couldn't even move even his fingers. As the figure started to reach down to grab his forehead, but was stopped by a small light blast from another figure in a white cloak. As it floated down to Naruto, as both figures clashed, as their powers blasting out from them, both light and darkness was slowly consuming around Naruto, who was at this point fearing his own life. As they were about to hit one another, another figure came peering, this time completely out of both the light and darkness that had become surrounding him. It was wearing a white and black coat. It had stopped them by placing its hands on both of their shoulders. They then look at each other and nod, as they then all lay one hand on Naruto's head with these words being pumped into his head. "You've been chosen to wield all three releases. May this power serve you well one day." As Naruto darts his eyes open in a shocked state, not knowing what had just happened to him. Okay, with that, the script is now done. I hope you guys have a good morning, afternoon, or day wherever you are. Now, like, comment, and subscribe. And again, if you want to recommend a what if, do so. Now, this is the Real Guardian signing off.